All right, boys and girls, thank you for joining me once again on another episode on this channel. And today we're talking Terminator Dark Fate once again. This movie is a little under a week away from coming out here in the United States. It's already out in the UK, and the reviews are out there. There's been mixed reviews on this movie, and I think I actually know why right now. Now, to me, James Cameron is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. No doubt about it whatsoever. Terminator 1, Terminator 2. Some of the all-time greatest movies I've ever seen in my lifetime. To me, the man has never had a hit when he is 100% involved in a movie. Now, it's well documented that he is involved with Terminator Dark Fate, but he was never on set for Terminator Dark Fate. And now we actually have some news about his involvement in this movie. And to tell you the truth, it's absolutely worse than what we thought. Now, James Cameron, he's much more involved with his Avatar movies. That's the main reason why he's not directing, writing, doing much of anything with Terminator Dark Fate. Now, he is a producer on the movie, but to get a producer credit, you really don't have to do much. He just probably made a phone call for some funding, and he got a producer credit. He probably did a little bit of the writing, but not much. But now we know exactly his involvement in the movie. Now, he actually didn't see anything at all in this movie until after they had already filmed the movie. Yeah, you heard that right. After the initial cut of the movie was filmed, that's when he saw something. That just kind of blows my mind right there. James Cameron, you would think would be a little bit more involved than that. But no, this is James Cameron's words himself. He says, well, I think I saw a rough cut. Maybe right after the first of the year, it was pretty rough. It was pretty long. It transformed quite a bit after that. I think David Ellison and I and Tim worked together to try to find the best film that could emerge from that. Now, David Ellison, he is the president of Skydance. First off, David Ellison should be nowhere near a Terminator movie because David Ellison gave us Terminator Genesis, the worst Terminator movie I've ever seen by a mile. That movie was absolutely horrible. If anything, James Cameron should have just put his Avatar movies on hold and got involved in this movie 100%. Because what we're hearing about this movie, this is a copy and paste job of T1 and T2, nothing more. I've heard that this movie really isn't for fans of T1 and T2. This is something for a new generation, and all they do is just replace the old characters with the new characters. And of course, spoiler alert, John Connor gets killed off in the beginning. You're not starting off on a good foot like that. But that's pretty much it. That's James Cameron's involvement. Never on set. He watched a rough cut. And what he did was he gave some notes. He wrote down some stuff, gave it to the film crew, and they kind of worked from there. Now, when it came to the editing process, James Cameron wasn't even really involved with that. Not at all. And this actually comes from Eric Eisenberg, who was an editor on the film. This is what he had to say. It wasn't a slam dunk at the time. I felt there were a lot of pathways that were taken that were unnecessary. I'm an editor myself, so I gave notes that were both broad and very specific. I continued in that process up to about 2.5 months ago when we locked picture. I would say I never went to the set. I've yet to physically meet the new cast because I never went to the set. But I was very involved in the writing, and I was very involved in the cutting of the film. And to me, the cutting is really an extension of the writing. Wow. So they used James Cameron's notes. That's about it. James Cameron was pretty much involved in this movie just as much as George Lucas was involved in The Rise of Skywalker that's coming out in December. They consulted with George. That was about it. In this case, James Cameron, he saw a rough cut, made some notes. That's about it. No wonder this movie seems like it's coming from the Force Awakens school of movie making. Nothing new in the movie. A lot of people are just saying it's okay. The action's good. The acting is good, but the story is something we've already seen before from T1 and T2. There's nothing new. Now, I'm a fan of actually Terminator Salvation. I know there's a lot of people that actually like that movie. That movie took Terminator in a new direction. I would have much rather seen James Cameron take the Future Wars and kind of went from there like we did in Terminator Salvation. Because to me, the movies post T2, Terminator Salvation is by far the best one to me. I hated Terminator Genesis. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, it had some moments in that movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not great. But I'm not even really saying that Terminator Salvation was great. It was very good to me. And it took Terminator in a new direction. This Terminator Dark Fate is nothing more than a copy and paste job. And for me, I don't like seeing stuff like that. That's why I didn't like The Force Awakens. James Cameron really needed to be more involved in this movie. I can guarantee you this. If James Cameron actually cared about Terminator, he would have put his Avatar movies on pause and come back to Terminator. But I think James Cameron knows that Terminator saw its best days after T2. He's even probably thinking, well, there's really nothing there. I'm not even really going to get too much involved with this movie because there's nothing new. I want to go on with my Avatar movies because the first Avatar movie made $2.8 billion. Nowhere in the world a Terminator movie, even with James Cameron at this point, is going to make anywhere near that. So I just think James Cameron, I don't think he was really that interested in Terminator, really. Yes, he made the phone call to Linda Hamilton to get her to come back because without James Cameron, there's no way in the world Linda Hamilton is coming back. Now, Arnold, he was going to come back, I believe, no matter what. I mean, he is the Terminator. And I've heard he's very, very good in this movie. But this movie, to me, if James Cameron made it, it would not be a copy and paste job, taking the best stuff from T1 and T2. It wouldn't have happened. He would have gave us, I believe, something fresh, something new. But no, he wants to make Avatar. Terminator's James Cameron is dead. Maybe he just did it for some money or something. I have no idea. But James Cameron, never on set for one day, and all he really did was watch a rough cut, put some notes in there, and that was pretty much it. So guys, what do you think of this? James Cameron's lack of involvement. Will this pretty much doom Terminator Dark Fate at the box office? Because the box office projections aren't really good for this movie. Well, but that's just my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.